I made $50,000 because I did this one thing during my negotiation time at corporate America. So if you guys are curious, my name is Angelo Carlos. I'm UCLA MBA. I've worked at big companies like Google, Airbnb, Meta, and I've just done a lot of program management for them. So I've kind of been around the block when it comes to things like this. So for me, when I was in business school, I interviewed at a company called Apple. If you guys are curious, Apple is a hardware software company. They do a lot of cool stuff. They make the MacBook, the iPhone, aka what I'm recording on right now. So at Apple, I was given an offer of $150,000 to do program management. And that was their offer when the recruiter reached out, say, Angelo, we loved your work. We want to hire you to be a program manager here and kind of handle all of our business operations. And I said, awesome, thank you. But one thing you need to realize is that when you're interviewing for companies or with companies, you're always entitled to a negotiation phase. What does that mean? So that offer they give you is usually the lowest offer. So that $150,000 is a great offer, but it's their lowest offer. What does that mean? So after every job negotiation or after every job offer, you need to say, hey, thank you for the offer, thank you for the role, I really appreciate it. Would you be open to negotiation? And 99% of the time, especially if it's a very big company, they say yes. Smaller companies like startups or just kind of like some mom and pop shops, it's sometimes a little tricky, but big companies like your FANG, like your Netflix, Apple, Google, whatever it may be, they're always open to negotiation. And the way it works is that you're usually given 2 or 3 rounds of interviews. So whenever you're given that negotiation kind of opportunity, you always want to aim pretty high. What I would do is I'd look at like levels at FYI, Glassdoor, even Ask ChatGPT, what is the usual offer range for some of your current levels. So for me, what I did was, okay, hey Apple, appreciate the offer. Would you be willing to get to $250,000 total compensation? Usually they'll say no if the offer is too high, but they'll say, hey, we can't really do this. But you'll tell them is that please work with your compensation team and let me know what you can do. This is really good for big companies. And once you do that, they'll be work with the compensation team and then they'll give you another offer. And then that offer came down to 175. I said, okay, 175 is great. I love where we're at. Would you be able to do $225,000 total compensation? They came back, said no. Unfortunately, we can't do 225, but we can give you 200,000. And I'll ask them, is this your best and final offer? When they say best and final, the recruiter's usually telling the truth. So you kind of either have the chance to take it or not. So when they say best and final, 200,000, I said, sure, that looks great. Let's do it. Let's sign the bottom line. So moral of the story is always negotiate your offer, and you're given around 2 or 3 rounds of negotiation. So do the best you can to negotiate.